Hey everyone. Um, um, First, I want to apologize because my voice is pretty bad, and I'm sick, and I've been sick for quite a while. It's been a little over a week, but I was really excited about getting started with the block. So uh, we got started. I'm starting on the block, and just want to upfront apologize for my voice and any mistakes because this, I mean, honestly, it's COVID. And you know COVID. I mean, we all know COVID. It kind of messes with your brain a little bit. And so I've been making a lot of mistakes. And just bear with me. I have some really cool tips for you, specifically with pressing. It makes putting together this block a little bit easier to get your seams to match up better and hints on keeping organized, and things like that. So I think it's a worthwhile video, and hope you'll just be patient with me a little bit. But let's have some fun. Let's make this first block and really enjoy this process, right? There's not a race on it. We're doing it a little slow. I know one block a week is pretty fast, but you're putting the blocks all together the same way. So that's why I thought, once a week, because once you get that kind of system and that flow down, it goes a little bit faster. All right, let's get started on the first block. I'm really excited about this, and I hope y'all are too. All right, let's get going. Hey there. All right, we're going to get started, but first I wanted to kind of do an overview shot, and I know you can't quite see everything. I've got everything laid out, and not exactly in the way that we're going to sew it, but I do want to impress that it is very, very important with these blocks that you lay it out. So what I have here, and I don't think you can see way up here, we have a whole other set. These two sets are the same, and they're going the same direction right now. One of these sets we will flip upside down, but you actually sew it exactly the same. You don't reverse anything on it. You sew it all the same. In that regard, it makes it a little bit easier. And then once we get this strip sewn together, we'll just flip it upside down and it's good to go. Now I say that and I'm like, yes, it is good to go. I started second guessing myself. And this is the center block. So I don't have it, like I said, I don't have it laid out exactly how we're going to sew it together. But what I do want to point out is there are a lot of things that we can do to chain piece, and I'm all about the chain piecing. But every time we chain piece and we finish with it, we're going to lay it out in the block section because it is very easy to get things turned a different way and switched, and how colors are laid out are very important in this in these blocks that we're going to do. So what I like to do is I like to start with the most difficult one, and it's not necessarily difficult, it's just the one that we're going to start with. We're going to do all of these faux flying geese and this together. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sets, and we're going to sew those together first. I like to sew, actually 1, 2, yeah, 4. I like to sew like items together. Yeah, so this will be the last time we're going to do like an overall thing here. I'm going to do everything else at the sewing machine, but I wanted y'all to kind of get an overall look of it before we get started sewing. All right, so what I'm going to do is basically take all of these up and put them the way they're going to go. They're all going to kind of go the same way. And here and here. And here and here. And then I'm just going to grab, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to take specifically these over to the sewing machine now. All right, let's start sewing. All right, Yeah, my voice is still real gravelly, and hopefully I'll keep it through this whole one. So I'm sorry that I got sick, but you know, you can't always help things. All right, so each one of these, we're just going to sew down the center. Get them all kind of set up. Make sure that those seams are matching up. And just give it. And I like to go that direction. That way I'm not fighting with going against those seams. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm talking about. When you're filming by yourself, sometimes you don't know everything you're showing. But I think I'm looking in the camera direction. All right. And this really comes together pretty fast, these blocks do. They're huge blocks. And that's fun. So this is just an alternative way to make flying geese. It's not my favorite way, but this is what the pattern says. My favorite way to make flying geese is the 4 at a time. And we'll have to do other videos on that. All right, so these are nice and ready to get pressed. I think for these, since there's a big bulk right there at the top, I'm going to press these open just to reduce that bulk. So we'll get our little mini iron and mat here. I'm loving these Oliso clip together mats. They are just, I can fit it in any little area and I love it. And it's a nice wool mat, so you can get that really good flat seam on it. Perfect. And I like having it here by the machine. Especially when you do so many little ironing times like this. It makes it really nice. I hope y'all are enjoying. I know some of y'all have sewn ahead. It's exciting. And I do these slow alongs for busy people. You know, sometimes you get sick and like me, you just don't have the energy to sew. I'm doing better today, but I'm still just, it's kind of lingering. So, but I have a little bit of energy today, and I'm glad that I'm able to do this because I was almost thinking I wouldn't be able to. Okay, so these are all sewn together, and how they all go on is to the back like this. It makes a point like that. So that is the way we're going to follow it. And sometimes it's good if you take a picture, and if you don't use your camera a lot, you can always use the instructions that we have here. And then you make sure, yep, they all, no, they don't all go together like that. The units, they do not. The top units do, but the center unit does not. Okay, see, this is why you check your pattern. And I know that some people think that I should be perfect and I should know it all, but you know what? And it's not that I don't try, but again, I've been sick this week and I really haven't had a chance to study this closely. And I haven't sewn it yet, and I encourage you to look at your pattern. And this is why it's easy to get off. So we are going to sew two like this, 2 units where they're pointed like this, and then 2 units where they're on top like this. Two units, yes, 2 units. So I'm going to start with the top one. And I'm still chain piecing these. the second one. These are for the center unit. There's two. And then these are the opposite way. And if this confuses you and you want to do one unit at a time, please do. I like to chain piece. So let's, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to cough, but it gets kind of to where I can't handle it anymore. I know it's loud. Okay. Now these little faux flying geese units are ready to go. Okay. Going to open these up. And there is a certain way that I want to do these. I'm looking to see if it matters all that much. Because this is such a thick piece, I'm wanting to kind of let that lie then, and I think that it will go flatter doing that. Oh, look how pretty. That just turned out so lovely. How that happens and how I felt like that goes down better is because I use a scant 1/4 inch. You know what I did? I sewed this one on upside down. That color is so light that I just noticed that, and you can hardly tell, but it is there. So I am going to get Jack the Ripper out, and y'all will have to bear with me for one of these. And I know that Chris said that she ripped a couple things out, and this isn't because I sewed it wrong on the wrong side. I just sewed it because I could not tell the difference between the front and the back. Insane in the membrane. Okay, let's sew that together the right way. Sometimes these really light blenders, that happens. All right, we'll be back on track really quickly. I sewed it to the right side, and I did not. Oh my gosh, my sick brain is killing me. All right, I want you to see mistakes, right? You're not the only one. I sewed this one to the wrong side because I wasn't thinking. I was talking to y'all and not thinking. It's so pretty, and it went on so well. All right, here we go. 3rd time's a charm, right? Okay, 3rd time's a charm. It goes on this direction, and this is the correct way. Let me get some of these threads out. All right, now that you have to laugh at yourself. It is all in the fun of sewing. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. No harm, no foul. It looks beautiful. Love it. All right. These, same thing, even though it's not that point, they still have more seams on them. And I might, we'll see if I regret sewing it the right way. This way. I mean, not sewing, ironing it this way. I like to nest seams, but sometimes when those seams are going to be so thick, it's just not worth trying to go the way it's not naturally going. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we are going to do the top units and we're going to save the center one for last. So I'm going to get all the pieces for the top and bottom units. Okay, so it goes, here's one of the units. Put that to the side. Remember, the color on this makes a difference. So you need this darker color with this one and this lighter color with this one so that they flow together. But this is the arrangement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this aside just a tiny bit. Move that aside. I'm going to do another one. Lay it up. Oops, no. Make sure you put it the right way, like that. And this one goes here and here. You know me, we're chaining. But I'm not going to try to do all 4 of these at one time because I want to make sure they go the right way. This way and this one. So we are doing both of them at the same time. I'm a big proponent of, again, chain piecing. I love chain piecing. All right. And I use this little, this tiny little bag that one of my employees made me for Christmas. She was so sweet. And I use it kind of as my thread catcher. It's nice to have that. Look at all those threads. It's in little pieces of fabric and stuff like that. It keeps my sewing area nice and neat. And then when it gets full, I just dump it out or put it in a little jar. It's kind of pretty, all the little colors and stuff. All right. Yeah, we're not going to iron those yet. We're going to press those all together. So the next things we need to sew are the other 2 ends that are exactly the same. They're just kind of the opposite way. And then we will sew these pieces together, and then I will decide how I want to press them. The reason why I'm doing that is when you're sewing the top and bottom unit to the center unit, you can press these a certain way to make the nest better. And so the seams match up. So we are going to kind of just chill out on the pressing and see where we go. I may not even press these until we get the center one done, and then I can make the decision. There are not that many seams, so it's not too hard. All right, now these turn around, remember. And when you do it like this, it's a lot easier to keep track of the colors. I'm not saying you have to chain piece or anything else, but it certainly helps you keep things organized. And here we can nest our seams, how we ironed this one this way, and these are pressed to the dark, so those seams do match up right there. That's kind of nice. That was a natural happening. Now get your stiletto out. I don't want any pinched fingers here. Hold that seam down. And then we take this on this one. a lot of fabric right here, so. Out of all the stilettos, I do like the By Annie one best. I do have a couple of like really fancy woodwork ones and stuff like that, and what I like about this one is it's a little bit longer and thinner, so I'm not, you know, holding a thick one, and it's got a long stiletto part here, so I'm nowhere near it, which I really love. Okay, so see, we're already almost done with these first two. So now we just put the other end on both of these. And this one is an open seam. We did do that. So just make sure you match it up pretty good. And our next one. Pretty little, did I sew that one on wrong? That was interesting, I'm not sure. Okay, well, that works. It just, the seam was going a different way. I'm not sure what I did. As long as the colors are going the right way. And this did quite nicely. I want to make sure that I did this correctly. Yes, I did it correctly. Oops, this one's out. Yes, I did it correctly. So, that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to set these to the side. Other than I'm just going to give that a quick little trim. And we're going to get the center piece. I'm just giving this a quick trim. It's just a little bit off. All right, that looks better. Okay. All right, where'd I put the other one? We're going to press these after we decide which way the seams are going to go. And so now I am going to get all the pieces for the center, and let's start piecing the center together. Okay, and we've got our flying geese units. So for this one, and I am going to go step by step on this one, it says to put these units together. And we just literally put one to the top. Caught myself that time. That one wasn't facing up. Okay, put the units to the top and to the bottom. So this is just a matter of chain piecing. Okay. My presser foot got pushed away. One and two. And then I'm going to chain the other side. Make sure they're turned the right way. Don't do what I did. Oh, I have fun with it. Sewing is supposed to be fun and not stressful. So I like to keep just a happy demeanor about it. I mean, sometimes we all get to that point where we're rushing, and I'll tell you, that's when you're going to start making mistakes, is when you're rushing or distracted. Okay, now I'm looking at these and I definitely want to press these to the inside. I know it doesn't really talk about which way to press, but there's a reason why I want to press these this way. So, and that will be clear in the next unit. We are going to just press these to the center. I nest seams whenever I can. It makes for, you know, seams that are not off as much. I'm sorry about my voice. It's really kind of going. Okay, so now we're going to set those aside and we're going to make the other part, which this has a little more. So we have already made our flying geese unit. It tells you to make it then, but we have already done that, which I am eternally grateful for. All right, so this goes this way, and we put one of these on the top and one of these on the bottom. And you see how this is looking exactly like it says. And we need to do 2 of these. One of these on the top and one of these on the bottom. All right, same thing. Let's just sew them together. All right, and the second one. And the nice thing about this, these are how all the blocks are kind of done, right? So you're going to get into this rhythm and you won't make as many mistakes. And the pace we're going to do 1 per week. It's still pretty slow. This doesn't take too long. When you're doing it by yourself, you can do it a little bit faster than when I'm filming, probably, maybe. Okay, make sure my seams don't get twisted in the back. Okay. Now you see why we do the flying geese first, right? It just makes the rest of this come together so much faster. You just have to remember that the top and bottom, the background goes on one side and then on this center one it goes on another side. All right, and I trim all my threads, so sorry I'm sitting here trimming my threads. That looks lovely. Now, the reason why I did that for the other one, this has got so many seams and it naturally wants to push out this way. And you attach these like this. So if those are pushing out that way, these are going down, that seam is going to match up nice. That's why I did that. So these we are going to press outward and let all those seams kind of relax, right? And not push against them. And hopefully this little tip helps you. I know I'm kind of taking my time when I'm telling you. And yes, I've made this quilt before, but it has been probably like, oh gosh, since last October. And I don't remember little nuances. It's been a while. I mean, we're in July, right? So we're talking several months ago. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and iron and sew these together like this. That's the way it goes. We just have the center unit left. So I'm going to go ahead and do these and look how nicely that lines up. just perfectly. And now you're going to, you're going to have nice seams when you sew this together. It's, to me, that's the exciting part of it, right? When you see it come together so beautifully. Okay, always kind of reposition. Okay, let's get this other one. And I sewed it to the wrong way. I sewed it the wrong way. It goes this way. I am talking too much. When I'm not talking, I don't do it. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be over here. Oh, well. I know some of y'all don't like it when I mess up, and I'm sorry. I really do try my best, especially when I'm not feeling very good. And then I hope some of y'all get a kick out of it when I screw up. I know some of y'all do. I have literally been laid up this whole week. I'm on day 8 of this sickness. And everyone's like, I hope you got a lot of rest. Oh, when you're sick, you don't get rest, unfortunately. For 4 of the days, I was just trying to breathe. Okay, my nose was so stopped up. All right, now we're going to pay attention. And sorry, I'm getting some of these threads out. And sew it on the correct way. Do you want to see how it's supposed to look? Instead of the messed up way. You're still matching your seams, right? They're still coming together really nicely. Oops. Give me a little. Let's fix this seam a bit. Okay. And the other way, we are sewing to the flying geese. All right, lining up those seams. Looks so great. Oh my goodness. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love it when it works out. Get my stiletto. Okay. Beautiful. That just matches up gorgeous. Okay, I am not pressing these seams. I want to think about how I'm going to sew them, sew the top and bottom together with this, but these face outward like this. Now we need to sew the center, and this is just a matter of top and bottom, and just like the rest of them. So you just have one of them. Sew your pieces. And we will look on these and see which way we want to press them. Because these can go either way. There's no seams really that want to lay flatter one way than the other. Okay. Trim real quick. Trim and trim. All right, this goes in the center with these, and these are already, facing up, so outward to this piece. So this one we are going to press to the center. That way we can nest those seams. And we'll sew this unit together, and then we'll kind of figure out all the seams and get the unit pushed together. We are almost done. I think there's only 9 blocks. So, and then we've got the kind of the borders to do and sashing. And that just came together just beautifully. No issues at all. And look at that. That just looks beautiful. Okay, so then make sure that you're going the right direction, because if you had done that, that would have been wrong. So make sure that you're going the right direction. Always lay it out and look at it. Make sure it makes sense. Check with your pattern. Don't do what I did and mess up twice, 3 times. That was my 3, right? So no more mess ups this time. Now, it's going to be pretty hard to mess up now, because we have our units sewn together. All right, this is the center unit. Now we are going to, after I do a little bit of trimming, okay, trim here, okay. Trim here. We've got some loose threads. Okay. There is our unit, okay? It looks wonderful. That looks really good. Now let's decide which way we want these to go. So this is the top. I mean, you can use either one for the top, but this is the top, and it's this little arrow goes down. So when I have these together, let's see. Yes, this one has something to go against, but I think I'm going to press this way because this has a lot more going against it. So we are going to press this first seam towards the center of the block. And let's see, where are we here? We're going to let this one go out and this one go out, and then we're going to press to the center on that one, and then the same way with this one. Okay. If that's not clear, is that clear as mud? Okay, so this outer one, we're going to press towards the 4 block. And we're going to do that on both of these, so I'll press both of them. Then the one with the flying geese unit, we are pressing outward on both sides, outward. And that's kind of naturally the way that one wants to go. I always choose what's going to be the hardest to flip to the side, you know. That's how I kind of choose which way it goes. And this one, it has 1 seam, but it's not too difficult. So that one we press towards the 4 block. Okay. That's how we pressed that one, towards the 4 block, outward from the flying geese and towards the 4 block. Let's go ahead and do the other side. I've got a little bit of a twisted seam there, but I might go back and fix that, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, and then we're pressing outward from that flying geese unit, outward. And then towards the 4 block unit. Oh, I just love this mat. Everything is pressing so flat. It's perfect. Man, I love this mat. Okay, so that is the top and the bottom. We've got those pressed and ready. Now, for this one, because we pressed toward the 4 block, we're going to press away here. And the reason why I did is because it's got this flying geese unit, and that would be difficult to press the other way. So this one, that's why I chose that. So the 2 ends are going outward. Get a little bit of a crease on that so it presses better. There we go. Gonna give everything just a little bit of a press. Now these units, because I did the flying geese on the other one out like this, we're gonna go in on this one. We're gonna go toward that center block. And with that heat on here, I'm not feeling it underneath. I've got it kind of off the table just a little bit. Oops. All right. We're ready. And what this is going to do is this is going to let you nest all your seams. So you're going to get nice points on all your seams as you sew these blocks together. Okay? Hopefully y'all got that. Let the flying geese fly out and towards the center block. Oh, I didn't mean to bump it. Okay, so there is our unit, all nice and pressed. It looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right. Sorry, I'm getting all these little threads out of my way. They're bugging me. Okay. If you would like on this one, if you would like to pin a little bit, it's a little bit longer. And yes, everything nests beautifully, but you kind of want to make sure it stays there. So I'm just going to pin. This one is not a nest. If you want to pin that, you can. We're going to nest, nest this seam. You get to nest every one of them. That's why we took the time and waited. But now we know for all of them, we can go ahead and press as we go because we know which way. And you can, in your pattern, if you want to draw arrows for pressing, because this pattern does not tell you which way to press. You can do that. You can just go through and put arrows if it's easier. Okay, time to sew the first one. Let's see how that goes. Oh, have faith, have faith. It's going to be beautiful. Just kind of keep it in line as you go. Make sure this one's a little, that one may be a little off, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that. A little off is not a big deal for me. A lot off is. We're on our last seam. I should have used this Cletto there. Okay, let's see how it did. Excellent. It's a slight bit off right there, but I'm okay with that. That looks great, and that looks great. And I think it's beautiful. I really do. I think that looks wonderful. Okay, let's do to the other side. Make sure your arrow's going the right way. You don't want to end up with a big block right there. Okay. And let's do a little bit of pinning again. I think that is helpful. Okay. Pin and sorry, I've got another tickle. Excuse me. When the tickle gets so bad, I have to cough. Okay. And one more seam. That one may be a little off. It just doesn't, it looks like it's, feels a little better. We'll see how this seam goes. If there's any that can be off, it's going to be this last one. All right. Yeah, that looks good. Make sure all those little pieces stay down. This is the one that I'm like, if anything's going to be off, it's going to be this one. That one's going to be off a little bit. Let's make sure this sews together right. Okay. Yep, that one's off like I thought, but that one looks great. That one looks great, and that one looks great. So you know what? It's staying off. I don't care. Okay, so now with these, I tend to want to let the center of a flying geese rest, because that's a lot of fabric. So when you try to flip it up or open, so I actually would press these down. But for this particular pressing, you can do whatever you feel most comfortable with. So that is it. I'm going to go to the big ironing board to press that down. That is what we have for you. That's how you sew this beautiful block together. It turned out so great. I mean, it really did. It's really beautiful. Let me see if I can hold it up for you. You can see it. It's a big block. Yeah, there you go. It's a big block, but it's a beauty. All right, now we're getting started going on the fun stuff. You're going to have a big old stack of these pretty soon. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. My voice is starting to go, so I'm going to log off here. Thank you, and we're going to do our next one next week. Exciting.